I have been singing the praises of you, your crew, your staff, your league for this Four Nations face-off. I will give you the floor on your reaction now that it is all finished.
We think it was a terrific event. It showed the passion that our players have for the game and the passion they have for representing their countries. But it's emblematic of NHL hockey. And I think with the wide appeal and how many people viewed it, hopefully we've turned on some more fans as we continue to grow the game.
When did this first germinate, this idea here of the Four Nations face-off?
That's a great question. It was kind of organic because we had decided with the Players Association to go back to international best on best competition, which meant we wanted to resume going to the Olympics every 4 years. And then in the intervening 2 years, we wanted to bring back the World Cup, which we hadn't done in a decade. And so once we figured out how we were going to do that and worked with the International Olympic Committee and the International Ice Hockey Federation, we said, wouldn't it be great if we could give people a sample of what international best on best with NHL players would look like? And with the time frame we had, we didn't think we could do more than a Four Nations 7-game round robin, and that's how we came up with the event. And there was a lot of skepticism going in, particularly from people in your line of work, not from you, saying, oh, this is just an exhibition, nobody's going to care. But once you watched what the players were doing from the opening puck drop, you knew this was something they really cared about. But that's how hockey players are. It doesn't matter if it's a game of shinny on a frozen pond or a preseason game or an exhibition or the regular season or playoffs. When they get on the ice, they come to play.
Well, and, I'll be honest, just that would be kind of the least of my concerns if I were somebody in your position. Was there any arm twisting of ownership to say these guys are going to put it on the line? Because everybody knows once you put the sweater on with your country in the front, what would ensue. No, you're already shaking your head. No arm twisting. I'm like, hey.
No, the owner. First of all, let's go back historically. We didn't go. NHL players didn't go to the Olympics till '98 in Nagano, which is something I did after I got here. And then we know that there's disruptions to our season. Taking a 2-week break in February, we're about to hit the stretch run. Based on how diverse internationally our player rosters are. Some teams in the NHL would be having more players play than others. And so after Sochi, we decided to stop going. But it became clear to me, it became clear to ownership that playing international best on best is really important to our players. And so we understood the disruption. And yes, every time a hockey player suits up and gets on the ice, there's a risk of injury. But in the final analysis, everybody decided that this was important, particularly because it was important to the players and to the fans.
So no one in ownership is calling you up now. Let's just say they're paying a Kachuk or the owners of the Bruins and Charlie McAvoy saying, hey, we took one for the team here. Nothing like that right now?
No, that's after the fact.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I didn't say I didn't get those phone calls, but it was going in there didn't have to be arm twisting. Listen, it happens. It's unfortunate. John Tavares had a leg injury in Sochi and missed the rest of the season. But people get it. But again, it's an important element of the game. And when you see the response that we got, particularly with the viewership in North America and around the world, I think somebody told me one of the games involving Finland was the second most viewed program in the history of Finnish television. This is a big deal. And, we have great pride in our game. We think it's the best, the most competitive, the most exciting, the most entertaining, and the most skillful. And it's all part of the balance of what we do.
16.1 million viewers across North America watched Thursday's Canada versus USA Four Nations Face-Off Championship overtime thriller. Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How did you come up with obviously Team USA and Canada, we're going to get in there. How'd you come up with Finland and Sweden as the four?
Those of the remaining countries we could consider, those were the two that had among the most NHL players, and we could fully stock with NHL players without dealing with the federations and leagues in their home countries. Obviously, you're going to get to the Russian question, but that's beyond us right now. That's a question of geopolitical matters, which we try to stay out of. And interestingly enough, I think 2 weeks ago, the International Ice Hockey Federation voted to continue the ban on Russia's participation in IIHF competitions. We're probably going to hear from the IOC on that in the next couple of months, but we just go by what it is the governing world bodies, even though we're not completely subject to them, mandate.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.